Right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I love that we're up to 9 participants. Nine's been just chiming, man. You know what I mean? It's like 9 segment tour, 9 for Avalon, whatever. It's always a number 9. I love it. In fact, Leela, I think you were the ninth person that signed on for segments. You nailed it, girl. So yeah.
I
So
knew I'd be the last one. I knew it.
it's okay. It's okay.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, and Michelle's coming as well. So I'm just introducing everybody here. And I know somewhere, somehow, we're all going to meet each other in person because that's my mission of life. Okay. So welcome to this very, very important sacred gathering, more so than usual, I think. I mean, obviously, when we step into the realms of Sekhmet and all the rest of it, it's like it's deep, but I can really feel the power of this because of where we are actually at the moment. We are in the space in between, which is what I've been going on about. And yeah, this is how these temple classrooms are going to show up now. As you all probably know, that they used to be on the public YouTube. And actually, it was Yeshua and Mary Magdalene that kind of brought me back to my old templates of the inner circle. So the inner circle is very Essenes. So the way that the Yeshua used to kind of go about his business, as it were, I mean, we all know he didn't like churches, but he would, check a posse on a mountain and call his and his peeps, and he would do his prayers, his sermons, whatever. And then when there were certain followers, not everybody got to access the inner circle because they just weren't ready or they were happy where they were. But it used to be the masculine disciples on the outside. And of course, people that were comfortable about receiving his words and teachings, absolutely fine with it, But then when he saw that others were ready for something much deeper, they entered into the center, which was the inner circle, which was Mary Magdalene, which was basically the mystery schools and the stuff that we vibe with, you know what I mean? Like the good shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's how it rolled. So there was a certain order to that. So like calling this the inner circle, that's what I'm going to call it. So from now on, because of that, because these groups in the temple is obviously very sacred, that I feel that YouTube itself, we all pitch up and we kind of join together and we comment and we have fun and all the rest of it. But when we come into these deep dive places, this is now the inner circle. So your link to this is in the newsletters, and I will post it every single time I do a newsletter every week. And it is a private link to the temple classrooms, which will basically still be on YouTube. You just got to click on it and it will take you through privately. Okay. And if anybody has a problem or they can't get in, just email me and I'll pop you the link. But that's kind of like how it's rolling because Marie's changing things up around here. And I love it that we have some new faces here as well. So for those that know me, happy days. For those that are new here, welcome. The tribe expands. I absolutely love it, right? So this class is all about Yeshua and Mary because we are in absolutely critical times of change, right? And as I always share with you guys, this is the gospel of Marie. And I just share what I share, go with what resonates, leave the rest behind. But I think most of us as tribe, it kind of resonates, right? So let me just do a little intro as to where we're going to go now. So the way we're going to roll is we're going to go into meditation now. We're going to invite in Yeshua and Mother Mary, or maybe she's here too, Mary Magdalene. And this class is all about reset, rebirth, and embody. And we are going to go on some channel journeys. And we're also going to have a little bit of my teachings. And like I say, we are all in the same place. What I love about this is we're all in the same place of that space in between. Where we vary is, are you here, or are you here in the space in between? And everybody's kind of like, am I late? Am I too early? Some of you may have seen a post of me getting to the gym where the other day I walked in, I was like, there's no one here. There was a power cut and I walked into the gym. It was bizarre. And I was like, oh, this is what the new timeline looks like, but I'm the first one here. Or maybe everybody's left without me and I need to catch up. I don't know. But it was very, very, very cool that I was in this place. None of us like crowds, really, do we? So I was like, I had the whole gym to myself and I was like, this is the new world. No more triggered anxiety and just too much noise. It was wonderful. So it's like, this is where we're at, the space in between. And it takes a little bit of navigating. So I love these groups that come together because as soon as we start kind of like swap notes and go, oh, hey, from the outside, she looked like she was vibing with it. But then when I share with you what it's like from my side, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's okay. And you basically accept your process a lot deeper, because no one's got their shit together. No one knows what's coming. And if they do, then they're telling you big fat fibs because we've never got this far before. So there is a big shift from the guru teacher to the student shift. The age of the influencer, oh my God, you guys, is done. I'm so glad for that. Do you know what I mean? Sorry if you were one of those, but I can't do it. Where we stride forward to in my world is arms linked together on one level. I am a teacher, but I'm also a student, and you're a teacher and you're a student, and we oscillate between the two. That is the essence of the new Earth timeline. There are no big bosses, there are no hierarchy. We move together, because if we don't land this shit, basically. You know what I mean? So we can keep running that program of going, yeah, I'm up here and you're down there, but that's not going to work. That's the old paradigm, right? That's why we've come. Okay. So this is what my work's all about, encouraging you, because I'm scared every day of stepping out, sharing your gifts, no matter what. I don't care, just do it. You know what I mean? Because your creativity and your contribution to the world in that moment is so powerful, and it's so important. No more shining our light. So that's what Yeshua and Mary are going to take us through today. So without further ado, get yourselves comfortable. And we're going to go into the opening meditation, and we're going to invite in the crew. And I hope that there's enough room for all of your star teams to gather around us, because I have a feeling there's a lot. Okay. So now, getting yourself comfy, and you feel free to switch the video off, move around, whatever you want to do throughout the whole class, because I know that some of you just like go into quiet space like that. That's perfectly fine. As long as you can hear me okay, that's the main thing. Right. So taking a nice big deep breath, inhale. And as you exhale, a big let it go. And then another one like that. Inhale. And big exhale. And now the biggest one. Inhale, fill the lungs. Feel the belly rise, the chest rise. Fill your lungs up so you can't fill any more. And I want you to hold that breath now. Hold it. Hold it for a bit longer. And then exhale. And as we sit in our still space now, we're going to do a little bit of box breathing to make our space a little bit more calmer, and we're going to bring in more frequency this way. So I want you to breathe in and out for nothing. Inhale and just breathe out. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. In. Hold. Exhale. Breathe in last time. Hold. Slow and long exhale all the way out. And once you've emptied your lungs, I want you to hold that breath. Empty, empty, empty. Hold it. And then breathe normally. That out breath and holding it for a long time is the moment where you're in absolute still presence. So holding that breath, you slow everything down. And now you will experience in your space a much more calmer, quieter vibration from within and without. And you feel your energy field start to expand now. And as you do so, your physical body knows that it can let go. This is also a gift for your physical vessel, as much as it is for you. So as you start to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose now, just slow, comfortable, rhythmic breaths, whatever sort suits you. You start to feel a frequency and energy that is very, very familiar to you. So comforting, so reassuring, soft and gentle, like a buzz and a tingle of the heart energy inside, but yet it's like honey nectar. And as you feel the presence of the gold energy, the white energy, suddenly the rose pink energy, Yeshua and Mary, they now arrive. And they stand before you now. You just look into the deepest, bluest eyes of Yeshua. You get lost in those eyes. And then you turn your gaze to Mary Magdalene, who's holding one singular rose. And her heart energy is astounding. She smiles and it melts every single cell in your being. She smiles and universes are born. And as she's smiling, that rose she's holding to her chest is just unfurling with its petals. And as it does so, it has a profound effect on your being because it feels like your petals are unfurling, because they are. And their message, spoken telepathically, is like, you're okay. You can let go now. You're okay. And you feel that in your being. And Yeshua stands tall and silent, that beautiful dark skin, this beautiful long hair, and those electric blue eyes. He just smiles because he's such a presence. And they stand closer to one another now, displaying their union. And they look deeply into each other's eyes to turn to face one another. And as they're facing one another, without looking at you, they both hold out their hand. And that is a signal to you. They are inviting you in. So you take their hand and you all of a sudden find yourself holding hands. And you've been invited into that circle. And as you step into their circle, because they invited you in, you've stepped into their world. You've stepped into their energy. And you feel this all-encompassing protection, like soft velvet all around you. It's like the archangels come down to meet you. The cosmos swirls around you. Mother Gaia just holds you. It's like in that moment, you just feel so, well, I'm very emotional because I can feel this. You just feel so held and protected. It's like there's no need to fight. There's no need to struggle. Everything is taken care of. And this is their world and you are in it. And in truth, that world is yours. And then you kind of span out a little bit. And you feel all these codes and energy swirling around you. You feel like the cosmos is swirling around your head. You feel very magical and very hazy. And Mary Magdalene now passes you this rose. And you reach out and you receive the rose. And as you hold this rose, it's vibrating in your hand. And as you look into the rose, it's not just any old rose. You look into it and you see multiverses. You see universes. You see worlds beyond worlds. You see potential. You see you. You are in that rose. And there is nothing more to say here, because words don't come because they're not needed. And what they're saying is that you've walked a very, very long path. You've walked through timelines upon timelines. You've suffered as much as you have loved. And yet your weary being is still here. But there's a fire inside of you, all hail Sekhmet. She's never far away. But there's also a fire of Mary Magdalene, the wild woman. And there is a strength and determination, and yet deep softness of the divine masculine. You feel this in your being. You just look into Mary and Yeshua's eyes, and there's just a beautiful trine of sacredness here and a deep remembering. And you bring this rose to your chest now, and this is your own sacred rose. And Mary Magdalene looks at you and she nods, kind of giving you permission to place it into your heart, of which you do. And as you place this rose in your heart, you feel just an exhale, like, there's a softer way to be. We do not have to fight or strive. There's a softer way to be. But let it be known, the petals of the rose, they are soft, gentle, and beauteous. But there are also thorns on the stem. And this is the divine balance of the light and dark, the night and day, of which we are also that balance. And within this beautiful portal of gathering, this is part of what Mary Magdalene and Yeshua want to share with us, the art of embodiment. They know this journey well. And they're showing their excitement now, actually, how excited they are. I think they know way more than we do, because they're like, oh, if you just know what's just on the other side. And the other side, they're talking days. They're talking days. We're not talking dark nights of the soul, keep on going. No, Mary Magdalene's saying absolutely not. It's like she's gone very childlike and excited. And she's just like, this is an auspicious time, such an amazing time to be alive. And they just want you to trust. They want us to trust like we've never trusted before. And we will. And we do. So now this circle and this space is now open. Sekhmet stands on all four corners. Anubis strides around with her. The protection. Egypt is never far away. Our beautiful protective guides is never far away. Horus also felt very present before this group because Isis, his mother, is part of the Holy Family as well. So they're all here. All of your STARM team are here. No one is exempt. No thing is exempt. So taking a nice big deep breath into that rose that you've placed in your heart. Breathing it in and breathing it out. And then coming back into this space. Well, I have to say that Yeshua and Mary are very different to channeling Sekhmet. Usually I'm like, I could feel the difference in the frequency, right? So let me speak about this entry point. So we are talking about reset. We're talking about rebirth. We're talking about embodiment. And as we all know, I'm glad you had some good tears. Me too. Me too, Natalie. I should have worn my waterproof mascara. I should know this gig by now. So we have reset, rebirth, and embody. And of course, with the Heka codes, that's intention plus action equals creation. And I know that we could sit here with all of us, and there is a 3 foundation with all of us, which is why I got so excited when I saw that there's 10 of us now. Nothing wrong with 10. There was 9. Now there's 10. So that's fine. So 10 is completion. Yes. I don't know, 11 would be good. So anyway, this 3 number is really powerful. And I encourage it ever such a lot because it gives you a map and compass on how to walk the embodied way, right? There is a big issue with teachings out there, which is why New Age spirituality and that kind of thing, it's done. Whatever we are not that. There is no label for us. We are just the awakened ones. We're just the ones that said yes to the new earth. And there is no label for that, right? So when we come into what we're doing, it has such a powerful anchor of 3. And all of these teachings can sometimes send you up into the stars, and that's where you stay. And I don't know about you, but I want a happy life. I want a happy life. I want healthy children. I want to hang out and just hang out with you guys, come and eat food, sit on the floor, eat food with my fingers. You know what I mean? Do some DJ sets, whatever, dance in the temples. I don't know, but it's just I want to live the embodied experience. And as a previous drug addict for about 10 years of my young years, 3 nervous breakdowns and all the rest of it, that was one of the batches. I didn't want to be here because it was just if I was high, I'm not here. And then I can just skim off the top. And I spent many, many years doing my absolute best to break into a million pieces so I didn't have to be here and to actually leave the planet. And I didn't, and I'm still here. So I thought, well, maybe the other option is actually just to be here because that didn't work out very well. Do you know what I mean? So here we are. So it's all about the embodied experience, and embodiment is not woo-woo wah-wah. Embodiment is everyday stuff. It's successful businesses. It's having the courage to create no matter what. who gives a shit? Just create. You know what I mean? It's about like eating good food. Have a donut. Have a donut for breakfast. No one cares. So you had a cup of coffee. Do you know what I mean? Have a cup of coffee. Have a priestess pint. When you come to Avalon with me, we go for a priestess pint. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with eating meat or be a vegetarian. Why don't we just live? Okay. So this is the embodied experience. It's devoid of all the woo woo wah wah, even though we're all a bit like that. I do like a bit of woo woo wah wah, but it's about the embodiment experience. So what we're talking about here is I'm going to go through it now, kind of like how I'm going to break it down for you. Okay. So reset. So the reset, rebirth, and embodiment. So if you think about the reset, I would definitely say that was probably a little bit further down the line of the dark nights of the soul. When we started to kind of get to the end of that was very, very different. And I have to honor each and every one of us here, because the dark nights on the soul, I was talking about it yesterday, blows my mind at the strength and the power of each and every one of us. We're getting through it now. But you know, that dark night of the soul, you didn't know any of this. Yeshua wasn't saying your new timeline is right there. We were just in the darkness. We all were just like, but we kept on going. But there was nothing in our lives. Sorry, I'm like the chosen one here. I get it. I'm going to have a bit of Ra's sun, but I'm just going to close my eye. Yeah, woohoo. So I'm just going to, okay, I can leave. Hang on a second. I was like, listen, I'm all about sunlight, but it's getting in my eyes, man. So like, this is the thing, right? So we didn't know what was around the corner, but can we just have a moment for that? None of us gave up, and we had nothing in our lives to say, keep on going because ... We just kept on going because we just did, you know? So let's just say kudos to our spirit. We got here. Now let's move forward a little bit. Now, those times after the dark night of the soul, it just started to go into a new level. That is definitely the reset. So let me break it down, and you can feel into it where you were. Maybe you still oscillate back there. Let's see, right? So first of all, reset is not comfortable. Okay. So whoever tells you this is a fluid experience, like I say, it ain't. Reset is when the old timeline, the old identity, the old you starts dissolving. Now, I'd like you to take a moment to think about that when did you start dissolving? And it wasn't, last year was the year of grief. I get that, but it was even before then. You know, we started dissolving quite some time back, right? Feels like confusion, tiredness, emotional, kind of burnout, scattered, questioning everything. I have sat here at my dining room table and gone, taking a sabbatical. I don't know what I'm doing. Even I don't know what I'm doing. I have moments of absolute clarity back then where I was like, right, this is what's happening. And now I'm like, I just want to curl up in my sock drawer and just close the drawer. I'll just stay there. And I just thought, can't do it. Our nervous system started to trigger, right? And it got so intense. And then all of a sudden, the nervous system has now become your biggest guide, which I absolutely love. But we're now moving into this new timeline now. The nervous system is starting to calm down, which tells you you're close, okay? So now, endings, silence, not knowing. That would have definitely been progression to last year, right? So the reset is the tomb of Mary Magdalene and Yeshua, their story, their union, right? And as we know, from womb to tomb, or from the tomb to the womb, I think we just keep doing that infinity, don't we? Right? So nothing happens out there. It's all happening on the inside. We're on that point, which is driving us all crazy, where we're like, there is so much going on here. It's not quite lined up there yet. This is where the big trust comes in. So I just want to validate that we're all in that same space. We're all in that same space, in the space between, in the void. We have to go back to that reset point, because this is the place where you were born from in the beginning. But when you were dragged down into the underworld, that was the dark night of the soul. That's when Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary and Sekhmet and all the dark mothers were like, oh, you coming down here. We were scared of the dark, scared of the boogeyman. Everything was just intense. We were like, I don't want to be underground because it's just scary. Where's the flipping sunlight? And we did everything not to go there. But now we've gone full circle. And I, for one, and I've spoken about a lot about this, I'm quite happy to go into the underworld now. Because why? Because I know what it's all about. It's where I go to create. It's where I go to rest willingly. It's where the reset comes from, because it's where we began from, right? So we've got to give ourselves kudos as to how far we've come on how you related to the underworld and how you relate to it now. And I think I can say, for those of you that I know quite personally well on this group, and those that I don't, but I will, I think I can personally say, like, you know what I mean? You definitely got your stripes. I know that some of us didn't think we were going to get out alive. Do you know what I mean? Sicknesses, illnesses, just like, do you know what? It's not that important. And I'm going to speak very candid about this, not to make it dramatic, but to actually give it recognition and validation that I, for one, looked around my family. I looked at my husband. I've been married for 25 years, beautiful, happy marriage, amazing kids. My life is peachy, but I looked at it and I was like, I can't. What's the point of having this life when all I want to do is actually just, I don't know how to interact with it. I don't know how to reach it because I was in so much depth and darkness, right? And I know that a lot of us walking this path have got to that point where you're like, right, I need to leave the planet. I'm done, right? But every single time you felt that, you completed the reset layers, right? It had to happen. I mean, you don't really want to leave the planet. You just want to leave this shit show that you live in. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a timeline jump, right? So now the tomb is not punishment. Back then it was, because we went down there kicking and screaming. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like not a plan. Now we're like, okay, so it's not a punishment. Like I said, it's preparation. It's where we go and where you will continually go, where you've been in the cosmos. Okay, so you go and do like some mad creation and you're writing, I don't know, books or author or whatever it is that basically constitutes creation. And you're up there. And then all of a sudden, you can't just do that because you're going to topple over. You've got to come down to cement it, to embody it. Where do you go? You go straight into the womb space, right? To the underground. And then you pop up in the realms of the only place where you can actually manifest on a physical level, which is Middle Earth. It's the only place you can have that. What's the point of being a creator if you're not willing to come into Middle Earth? Because you can't share it anywhere else. No one in the underworld gives a shit because we're all resting. No one in the cosmos they're just being stars. Do you know what I mean? Got all these great ideas, and now like you got no platform to basically launch it off because you really don't want to go to Middle Earth. But that's what we've done. We've come out of a really bad relationship with Middle Earth because bad shit happened. That's all you're transmuting. That's everything you were doing. And let's look at Yeshua. Man, that guy came for 33 years, crammed it all in and was just like bish bash bosh on a cross. I'm off. Okay, see what I did there? Now your turn. And we were like, hmm? Me? Do you mean her? So it's like, that's how it is. You know what I mean? That's how it is. So that is the reset. Okay. So now let's talk about the rebirth. Okay. So this is kind of like the rising. Rebirth doesn't happen suddenly. It's a process, which is what's driving us all crazy because we're not that patient, are we? So crucifixion, tomb, resurrection. There's your threes again. Crucifixion is the old, trying to read my own writing now. As the old identity dies. Okay, so that's your crucifixion. So that's essentially what Yeshua showed us. He's like, here I am in this form, and I'm going to get on here, and I'm going to drop the body, and I'm just going to show you, hey, look at me, I'm just in spirit. And guess what? Look at this, come back into my body. Boom. You know? And I know I'm like basically making it light and all that kind of thing, but we can go deep with this, frazzle your brain, and you can get lost in the Bible. And like, you know what I'm saying? But this is the truth of how we need to talk about it so we can actually digest it, so we can really embody it, because everything else is beyond our reach. Intense books, you know, very, very deep teachings. You end up spending way too much time there. Your DNA, it's programmed. He put it there. Yeshua put it there. Mary Magdalene's within you. It's in us, right? So as soon as we can like really, really back ourselves and go, right, do you know what? Maybe I'm just going to go offline. I'm going to go into the womb, into the cauldron, into the tomb, whatever. And I'm just going to go and have a conversation there. Start to get really, really adept with your realms, because that's what Yeshua and Mary Magdalene was teaching us. Death, rebirth all the time. And we've basically fought it, because we don't want to die, right? Because we're all scared of death, okay? But the thing is, you go to sleep every night. That's a death. You wake up in the morning, surprise. You know what I mean? You drop the body. That's a death, okay? So we do it every single day. So the trees do it. Like we're about to go into autumn here. Leaves, no leaves. Leaves, no leaves. Do you know what I mean? It's a cycle. And that is what Mary Magdalene's work and Yeshua is all about. And we're the ones, if you want to call us disciples or bringers of the way, whatever, we're the ones that are here right now that are actually taking the modern day version to the next level. Now, I want to just interject here because I want to talk about what I read on a newsletter, and I'm just going to quickly read it here. if Mary Magdalene walked into the room right now, I don't think Mary Magdalene would start a religion. I think she would sit down, look in your eyes, and ask you one question: are you living as you really are, or as you were told to be? And I think Yeshua would be sitting quietly next to her, smiling, reminding you that the kingdom, that the kingdom was never somewhere else. It was always within you. Something I'm always banging on about. Listen to the voice within, not the 10 million voices in your head who are all sponsored by Red Bull. It's loud and distracting. Many people overlook the personality of Yeshua. Those who have actually connected with him through meditation, through channel, quiet conversation, know that Yeshua has an incredible sense of humor. He does. Sometimes quite inappropriate, actually. He is. I remember back in my younger years when I was first practicing how to channel, I was deep in meditation and, in all honesty, probably trying far too hard to connect. I was really getting frustrated. Well, Holy Mother, he came through. By the time I'd finished writing, I was elated, tearful, and very excited. I threw my pen down, nailed it. And this is a true story, by the way. And his voice came straight back to me. He says, yes, I felt that too back in the day. I went from hysterical laughter to being deeply apologetic in about 3 seconds. And then he reminded me, this is what I want to share with you. He reminded me, he purposely disrupted teachings. He challenged teachers. He upset the rabbis. He walked into temples and flipped tables of the money changers. He was that guy. So when you try to put Yeshua in a quiet little box, I always laugh a bit, because the Yeshua I know is kind, loving, direct, funny, and not remotely interested in behaving and fitting in. So can we just yeah? I mean, imagine, this is what I do all the time. Imagine if you knew a Yeshua. Imagine if he was walking through Starbucks and he's like, hey, bro, how's it going? He would be that guy that maybe you might not want to be around because he's like a little bit in your face. Do you know what I mean? That's like what he came to do, ruffle feathers. So when you think about them in modern day, which is what they want you to do, you then can relate to how you can walk as them. Right? And they don't seem so far away from you. I mean, I don't suggest you go into the bank and flip a table. You probably will get arrested. And I'd say, Jesus loves you. You know what I mean? But it's like, I'm just saying, disclaimer. I'm just saying, you get the idea that he came to upset the narrative. That is what we're doing as a collective. But this is the thing, as we come together, we have no fear. It's hard when you're doing it on your own. But now we're coming together. It's like, just us vibrating like this alone is going to change that narrative. Okay. So we spoke about crucifixion, tomb, and resurrection. So crucifixion is old identities, and the tomb is the in-between, which is the void. And then resurrection, which I think is so perfect that we're doing this, because resurrection is literally in a week or so. I mean, like, it really is, because we're going on to Easter Monday and all that kind of thing, right? So this is like, you can't write this stuff. He's having a fat chuckle going, yeah, and I'm just reading what Sarah said. Oh, I just yes, exactly. Stop judging yourself, because he sat there laughing, going, you guys are just going too serious here. I mean, honestly, even Mother Mary, I've read so many books, I've channeled her, I've seen documentaries, and she's just like, my son, Jesus Christ. He went in, she couldn't deal with him. She was like, this kid, like ADHD, too much sugar, upset the rabbis again. You know what I mean? Like, I know kids like that. In fact, that's my kids. But anyway, it's like, that's like quite normal, isn't it? But it's like, it's relatable, right? Shelley's laughing. We got children like that, haven't we? Just, But it's like, that's what they came to do. Be spirit, full of spirit, break the narrative, right? So now, these three magical processes of transformation merge and unite, balance, and restore. Okay, it restores the divine masculine and feminine presence, right? So this is basically where we're at. Now, I want to speak a little bit to why this week particularly, sorry, I got a spot on my screen there, bugging me. So this week particularly is really, really, really powerful, because like, you can just like nod or put your thumbs up or pop something in the chat, whatever. But like, how many of you felt a certain type of way on the weekend just gone? Did anybody feel anything? Is anybody feeling anything now? Are you feeling kind of like the energy, kind of like, I don't know. I'm going to describe my experience, and I want you to zone in and feel it, right? So Sunday, which was the 22nd of March, 22nd and 23rd was a very, very powerful date, but it wasn't an astrological one, okay? The moon was very close to the earth, and it's like, okay, so yes, all right. So yeah, so it was close to the earth, and basically what that did is made us kind of like emotionally purge. I shared it on YouTube, and somebody put it poignantly that they felt like there was poison being pulled out of their body. When I came out, I was very, very sick on the Sunday, like proper tummy bug vibes. And the 22nd led into the 23rd. 23rd is 2-3. So it represented step, step, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what I mean? So there was definitely a push over. Now, this threshold can be likened to one of our tribe, actually, who is an astrologer. She called it the Rainbow Bridge. You've crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. I knew something significant had happened. And I was like, oh, I've crossed over to something. Now, this has happened different stages. Michelle, I know that you've been different. I've spoken to other people that had it 2 days before me. There are a lot of people that are only going to be going through it this week. But when I say that this window is like super small, it's no one's left behind, man. No one's left behind. So between now and kind of, look, let's give it a bit of a wider bandwidth to the resurrection. Either way, between now and then, let's put it in a container. You are going to be going through your paces because you are going to rise, brother, sister, rise. Okay. This is what's happening, right? And you can sit there and go, okay, well, I've been here before, Marie, wishful thinking. Or you can actually just say it and go, yeah, I'm fucking rising. That's what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? Because I ain't going down into the underworld again. You know what I mean? It's like, it's time. It's time. So there has to be a kind of like coming into the space, coming into the circle and really, really calling it in, really, really calling it in, right? So I'm going to share, because I'm going to go into a few kind of like in and out meditations. And I always get a little bit of a journal experience before I take you into another deep dive, right? Okay, sorry, I'm jumping ahead here. So we've spoken about reset, we've spoken about rebirth, and that was the crucifixion, the tomb and everything like that. And that's kind of where we're all at the moment. But where we're about to go to within this year. I love that black cat, by the way. I'm so divinely distracted by that black cat. I'm like, thank you for bringing the feline frequency, man. I'm just like, I love it. So cute. So I digress. So now we go back to embodiment. What does the true embodiment look like? Okay, so this is the bit where it gets, when I teach the Hecker codes, it's intention plus action equals creation. Now, that is Sia, God of perception, Hugh, bringing the divine into the man or the woman, human. And then you have the Hecker, which is basically the platform. That's like fully embodied. And that's why this alchemy work is so powerful, because what we tend to do is we do the intention. That's easy. Then we get stuck in the stars and we don't come into land. That is everybody's problem, is it not? It is also a personal one, but it's also a collective one. And that is what we're not pushing through, but that is what we're claiming now. We're about to be the front runners to actually embody. And it's like coming into this space. So what does it look like in the third stage? Okay. So it's not about spiritual knowledge. I mean, this is the thing, right? Mary Magdalene speaks about this often. And there is a really good book that I want to share with you. Again, I put it on my newsletter. This book here, The Magdalene Frequency by Adele Veneri. I love a big up of a book, and I'm always going to big up books. This basically changed my world. I read it in Avalon and it just rocked my world, because she spoke about what I felt. Okay. The Magdalene frequency is a frequency. It's a Magdalene, the Magdalene consciousness, the Magdalene order was men and women. It's got lost in translation. So this is what this book speaks about, a pure channel of Mary Magdalene. So important. I'm not lying. I cried through every single page of this. Like, honestly, that's how much frequency is in here. And she says, so the fact that you are knowing when I was alive, how many children I had, when Yeshua truly died, do you know what I mean? Who his relatives were and all of these things. Does that bring you closer to God? And the answer is obviously no. But she said, well done for distracting yourself, because that's just taken up time now. Just come inside. The Magdalene frequency is within each and every one of you. So you can faff around with that, or you can just basically cut the bullshit and come straight in and just listen to that inner voice. And that inner voice is unique to each and every one of you. And that is why I'm absolutely passionate about bringing that voice out. And the gospel of Natalie, the gospel of all of us, Jean, like Leela, Ra, the gospel of us. It's valid and it's important. And essentially the gospel that speaks through us is the gospel of one. So we just need to express that how we feel fit. And you know what? Handing yourself over constantly to teachers, this is fine. But you know what? Eventually, I would like to see you doing your own classes and things like that. And we'll meet on a mountain somewhere like Yeshua did. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, if you're not engaging with teachings that are like empowering you, that you eventually you're not going to be here. And that's a wonderful thing. You know, if you are going to the same teachers and you're not moving, you're not moving. So there's a problem because you're not listening to the inner voice. And like Yeshua said, we can do as good as him, if not more, right? So it's like, yeah, let's do this. So we've done this full circle thing, right? So being embodied, and this is now Mary Magdalene's jive. Okay, so Yeshua kind of brings all the consciousness in, but Mary Magdalene brings in the embodiment. And I suppose Yeshua to a point as well. So it's not about spiritual knowledge, not just healing, okay? Because that's another thing as well. The relationship to Mary Magdalene has got a little bit stuck, and it's become a convenient place for men and women, but mostly women, to just go and be stuck and heal and then go and heal a bit more. And it's like, we got to get out of that. We got to get into the wild woman of Mary Magdalene. Now, the wild woman of Mary Magdalene is like, I'm going to get into that in a minute, because that is where we're actually working to. So my wish is to drop this seed, or rather this entry point, this new understanding of Mary Magdalene, and maybe the wild woman can work with you, because she's very different to the traditional kind of like shroud. She has a place, absolutely, but I'm all about barefoot and mad hair, man. And that's what Mary Magdalene's been teaching me. She's like, oh, God's sake, just let that shit go. Just be freedom. Freedom is what we want now, right? We don't want to be pain to our wounding, or stuck with our wounding. So embodiment is all about becoming it. Sekhmet ignites courage to do that, right? So this is where our different gods and goddesses come in. So Mary Magdalene would be like, yeah, have the courage. But then you call on Sekhmet, ignite the fire. Let's do this. So living differently. We're all wanting to move house, are we not? Everybody I speak to is just like, I'm done with this town. I'm done with this house. I want to move. You know what I mean? So that is a very, very significant thing as well. Embodiment is about choosing differently, speaking differently. That takes a lot of consciousness. And we go back to that courage. Running your business differently. Okay. Starting a business, maybe even closing one down that doesn't work for you. Okay. Setting boundaries, saying no, but saying yes when it's right. Okay. So that is embodiment. So I'm going to do a little writing exercise with you before we dive off into different dimensions. So question time. And I'll give you some time to scribble a little bit, but you can always go back to this, or you can just think about it. You don't have to. I'm not going to be checking that everybody's got their pens. What in your life is resetting? So the reset, to remind you, is not comfortable. It's letting go of the old identification. It's the old you that starts dissolving. So I go back to my question. What in your life is resetting? What is dissolving? What hasn't dissolved yet that you feel, yeah, I need to actually let that go. I need to let it go. And the way you know that is if it's not a resounding, oh my God, I'm absolutely love this, then it needs to be in the reset box. Okay. So really consciously thinking, what in my life is resetting? So like endings, silence, not knowing. Do you need to know all the time? Are you obsessed with outcomes? Are you holding on to details? How much can you be okay with not knowing? And also as well, in that reset section, I mean, you might write something like, you know, you want to let go of the confusion, the tiredness, being scattered, questioning everything, or maybe even just making peace with questioning everything. You know what I mean? Just saying to your human, well, of course you're not going to know where we're going because we've never been here before. And bringing a bit of love and compassion to yourself and just going, it's okay. No one knows what they're doing. No one knows where they're going, you know? And then the next question is, who am I becoming? Like, it's not going to be known to you yet, but you're going to have a good idea. Do you have like a little bit of an inkling that you're like, I don't know, maybe I should write a few posts. Maybe I should teach a little bit. Maybe I want to actually find out what it is to get a business loan to open a business of my choice. Maybe, and I know, Ra, you've got massive project going on at the moment. Our resident rapper, it's like creating projects. The best thing to do is like create. So that's all well and good, but how do you want to create? Where do you want to create? Why? You know, what is it that you want to bring through? Who are you becoming? And it may not be as far as stuff showing up in your life. It may be, I'm just becoming a stronger person. People always used to take the piss out of me and just take. And I'm always the one that's left on the outside looking in. Maybe you're making better choices for friends. Maybe you just let go of all the friends and just be at home with your cats, which this is why I'm zoning in here, because that's what I do. I'm with my cats and with my dogs. And you know what? I don't need anyone, but I like to be around people. So I suppose I'm a crazy cat lady. I never thought that'd be at this age, but it's okay. Owning it. Crazy Sekhmet cat lady. So who are you becoming? Right? Because that brings the excitingness. That's the reset bit. That's the bit in between, right? Oh, sorry, not the reset bit. The second stage. Yeah, the space in between, the void. That's the void. So this is the biggie. I want you to write 3 things for this, right? If you were already there, whatever there is, there may be something you've just written down there and you're like, yeah, man, that's really cool. If you were already there doing that thing, okay, write 3 things or more if you're on a roll. Write 3 things that you would action immediately. So you're in this good space. You're not fearful. Fear is just like let's word it another way. And Michelle, I know you're laughing because I look at it. So you can
because I wrote it down already. That's why.
Have you? So like we just need to telepathically communicate with one another. We don't need this, do we? We don't. So in a way, I suppose it's saying, which is always my favorite saying to myself, if you didn't fear anything or you just knew it was a done deal, what would you do tomorrow? What would you put out there? You know, like what would you do? Would you leave your job and go and be a ski instructor because you just love snowballs and skiing and what would you do? So really kind of, because when you go into this feeling of like, yeah, I'm beyond that space in between now. I've really landed in and I feel very stable. I feel very embodied and everything like that. And it's like the capabilities that come to you because of that. Like, what does that look like? You know, and that is what Mary Magdalene is gifting us today, is that sense of freedom. Because the sense of freedom, that's essentially what we're working to, isn't it? I mean, I had a long chat with myself the other day and I was like, what is it? What is it? What is it? It's not abundance. It's joy to a point. But I think for me and for a lot of us, it's freedom. And when you have freedom, you're just happy. So surely that brings joy. It's all one big cauldron mix, isn't it? So if you're joyous and you're happy, that is actually the true meaning of success, by the way, joy, you know, and it is the acceptance is the gateway to joy. So here we are. Acceptance is the gateway to joy. Okay. When you've got your joy, then you have freedom. So there's another 3 things just to chuck in there. So you see, it's like how one leads into the other, you know? So I'm going to just get you to close your eyes a little bit now because I'm going to share a little channel that I wrote with Mary. And there was one from Yeshua who actually came to me in poetry. So I want you to just close your eyes just to receive her words. So she says, Mary speaks, I am the wild woman within. Yes, to the sacred divine masculine, I am within you too. The part of you that seeks freedom over all else. The part of you that yearns to create, to inspire, to explode your light into the world without agenda. I say that again. To the part of you that yearns to create, to inspire, and to explode your light into the world without agenda. Over these times, you will witness layers upon layers dissolve, dilute, disappear, a great reveal, and sacred exhale will follow. Devoid of fear and failure, your spirit will rise, and once again, you will return to your rightful place, heart connected, embodied, and true. So that part, that why I read twice there, this is what Mary's really bringing through today. The part of you that yearns to create, to inspire, and to explode your light into the world, ... without agenda. Without agenda is the most important part of being a creator. Being a creator is your natural birthright. It's your most powerful frequency. It's your most powerful dynamic. It's your most powerful superpower. It's part of you. So to repress such magic, to repress such sacred power of creativity, to repress such heart energy is uncomfortable, is it not? It is purgatory, is it not? Does it not feel like a kind of constipation? But it is a feeling that you have conditioned your bodies over lifetimes to get right with. You have conditioned yourself to file this energy, as it were, to cope with it day to day. It's become a normal thing. And this is why your process is rather challenging, because what you are feeling right now is the element of ease and grace. Ease and grace has never been part of your worlds, beloveds. It's never been part of it. And you have suffered and you've gone through challenges and you've created a reality that encompasses this, that houses this, so you can survive. But we are not surviving any longer, beloveds. You are no longer in a minority. You rise, your frequency rise. We see your hearts just come together as one. It is a beauteous sight for myself and my beloved Yeshua to witness. The light that is emanating from Gaia now is because of you. The light that is emanating on Gaia right now is moving through you. Let it be known that this is no falsity, no false lies telling you promises that it's just around the corner, and yet to be disappointed and disillusioned once more, only to have the grace of God ripped from your hearts, from your beings, from your fingertips, to be plunged into the darkness. Oh no, sweet souls, you have overcome such things. You are masters, and you knew how to move through such darkness and not be consumed by it. Here you stand, the truth to be told. And you are about to step into a brand new world and reality. And fear not if you do not feel it fully, because this is just your soul, your being, apprehensive, if you will, much like a caged animal who has been in captive care. When they are released to the African plains, the cage and the door is lifted up. Never do those animals run to freedom straight away. They sit at the back of the cage, questioning, mistrusting, not sure as to why the kingdom of heaven and the beauteous Gaia is out in front of them. There must be a catch. There must be a trick. There is no trick, beloved. You have made it. So procrastinate less, trust more, understand and know that what you feel within you and what is placed before you in the coming days and beyond is indeed what you have tirelessly worked for, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Did you think it was going to be infinite? Never. The kingdom of God is within you. You are divine and you are physical form. So you are as above, so below. You are the pure reflection of the all-mind. You are walking gods and goddesses. And we mean this not in the egotistical sense. We mean that you are part of one heart consciousness, Christ consciousness. In fact, you were never, ever separate from it. And this is the moment that you are now realizing. And you look at it, and it is true. It is easeful. It is non-complex. That's why you don't trust it. For life and lives for each and every one of you is being complex. And it is a time to give much love to your human self, who doesn't trust as easily as your higher self. Your higher self is the one that leads the way, the one that knows the way. But your human still holds memory of the past. So we love ourselves into alignment. And we give good grace to our physical, who takes a little longer to step into the trust of this whole experience. But that will not last forever, beloved. And I'm not telling you that you are going to be sat here for another year or more in your earthly times. No, it is now. But these moments as you get so close is the moment when it is the most terrifying. Because everything, what I can tell you, everything is about to change. And the change in itself brings fear. Transformation can be difficult. But one must expand their being in every single moment, hand over control in every single moment, and trust that the energy that pulls you forward is not that of any more karmic, painful experiences. It is drawing you forward to the new earth timeline, which in truth, beloveds, you are already in. But now it is just allowing the time for certain parts of you to become more aligned with the new dimension and frequency. So give yourself time. Do not rush this process. You will not be left behind. Left behind from where? There is no such thing. The mind will fight you constantly, telling you that it is not safe. But that is your body's intelligence making sure that you are cared for, looked after, kept safe. So the conversation to be had is not with the voices in your head, more for the ones that are to do with your physical body, the voice that screams to you, please can we pull back? And you can bend down just like you would do to a little child. And you take their hands and you look deeply into their eyes and you tell them, we are safe. We are going to be okay. And we will not place ourselves in situations that could be overwhelming right now. But what we are going to do is come together and move forward as one into the new earth timeline. This was God's plan. This was your plan. And you've made it, beloveds. You do not have to come back for another lifetime to repeat if one does not feel the pull. This was the lifetime that you said that you would arrive. And from our hearts and from the heart of the universe, we are so happy you made it. You can open your eyes now and just breathe that one out. Okay. So as we move through all of this, Leela, sorry, I'm just looking at the messages now. Okay, so there we go. There's the perfect. I've just opened my eyes, and then Leela leads her first retreat, student and teacher forever. Absolutely. So let's make a little bit of a promise here, because I tend to do that quite a bit. Like, there is, like, when I take my groups to Egypt, or rather the old dynamic of the tour, we used to do every single, I mean, it's like, it's so Marie, it's so extra, and it was so of the timeline back then. Every single tour, every single temple in Egypt that I could cram into 10 days, guess what? It was in there. And you know what? You can rest when you're dead. That was the kind of vibe. And it was like ayahuasca, and we went through every single temple. We literally crawled on our hands and knees to the Isis temple every single time, which is where we did the promise of Isis. So we went through all these temples, all of these magical things happen, all this transformation. And then when we got to Isis and we went into the Holy of Holies every single year, I do the same thing because I've done it myself. I would get each person on the group to stand at the altar and we would witness them all. And as the sun came up and the light, because it's obviously the son of Horus as well, you know, the sun would come through into the temple, into the Holy of Holies. And I would have people speak out loud what they were going to promise and action in the coming days. And when I say in the coming days, in the first 2 weeks of getting home, because the reason we're going to do this today is because we can quite easily leave it to the ethers. And we go, well, that was nice. And that was nice hanging out with Yeshua and Mary and all that kind of thing. But I always hold you to it because the comfortability is where the magic ignites. And you know what? This is a little bit comfortable. So I want you, because I'll ask on the next temple classroom and you can avoid me, but I'm going to hold you to this, right? I'm going to hold you to this. I want you to write down. And you can, I mean, I could be really mean now and get everybody to speak out loud, but I'm not going to do that. But I will do in future classrooms. I'm just letting you know. So, but for now, I want you to write something in your journal, okay, where knowing what you know, knowing how close you are to it, knowing what you're letting go of, knowing what you're igniting. I want you to write down what your promise is to yourself. And I want you to action it within, okay, so the resurrection, so that's the Monday, Easter Monday. I reckon, so 3, 4, 5, 6, probably around, I'm going to give it a date, around about the 8th of April at the latest, because you would have walked through your resurrection. Because like Good Friday is obviously, this is very much encompassing the teaching that we're doing here. So you would have like kind of dropped the body, dropped all the bullshit. You would have kind of got okay with the void. And now by creating this promise, you are calling in your new reality. And I want something that you know that you can action. Don't be like, right, I want to go and hold retreats in Egypt. And like, there's no way you're going to get that together in 2 weeks. I've tried. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, what is really, really doable? And it has to be doable, but it has to be significant enough in its energy that you are challenged to commit, right? So it can't be something easy like, I'm going to go to my, I don't know, the meditation group down the road because like, you know what I mean? I always wanted to do it. It needs to be bigger than that. It needs to be bigger than that and more direct with your life. And it could be, I'm going to start writing that book. It could be, I'm going to build that website to support my retreats, Leela. You know what I mean? I'm going to, maybe it's going to be a case of like, I don't know, a very, very negative relationship that you need to walk away from. It has to be something significant that is in your way between the New Earth timeline. You might have a rough right in here, but I want you to revisit this now. And this is your promise. Okay? This is your promise. Now, I'm going to do something similar like this on the next classroom, but right now I'm going to be gentle with you guys. But you're gonna honor that promise. And for those of you that come onto YouTube or whatever, you want to be witnessed, come and put it in the comments, man. I want to hear about it. Do you know what I mean? But I want to know what happened. When you write this in your journal now, as of today, it's going to be charged because you're witnessed by Yeshua and Mary. You're witnessed by all of us. Even though I can't see what's written on your pad, you know, and I'm bigging this energy up because I'm making sure it's energetically a line in the sand, right? Now, if you get to that point where you're like, oh my God, I didn't do it, I've totally failed. That's not the medicine here, because I'm telling you now, by you trying to do that promise or fulfill it, whatever would have happened on the run up to it, that's where the magic of medicine is. So don't use it as another thing to punish yourself. So, okay, like, you said you were going to do this thing. I guarantee if you didn't do it in its wholeness, there would have been some pre-steps that would have happened in you trying to do it. Look at that. Right? And remember, you are a master of the new timeline. You know how to do this. I just need to give you a proverbial kick up your backside, which is basically what Sekhmet does to me all the time. Like, this is why I had a whole life full of fear. Like, honestly, it's just so hectic, the level of anxiety, but I never turned away from anything because of fear. I might walk through it fearful, but I never, ever turned away from it. And I know fear is the backdrop for a lot of us, but mine is fear. That's why I came here, to face fear. And it's really uncomfortable. And that's what Sekhmet does. She'll walk around me and she'll all be really nice. And then she'll literally push me into the fire. That's how she rolls. That's how she's got me to do things. So sometimes you might need to call on Sekhmet and just say, push me out of this ditch I'm stuck in. So you will be visited by different deities, different guides. Maybe it's Kali, maybe it's Green Tara, who knows, that is actually going to come to your aid and bring you through. But I really want you to just honor this, and I want you to even put it on your fridge, where on your altar, this what you have promised, So I'm just reading Leela's message out. I just have to share that timeline is so aligned for me. April 7th is my birthday. Okay, amazing. I'm leading my retreat this weekend, then moving to a new city in the mountains, house it April the 1st. So things are moving. So this is great, Leela, that you shared this, because I know Leela's also been trying to find out a place to live and everything like that. It doesn't matter if you're not living in the bloody mansion by the time we get to the 8th of April or whatever. The fact of the matter is you might just have started to look at new houses, and then that's the win. The energy has changed. Now, something I'm going to share now before we go into another deep dive. This is real basic stuff. And I know that you probably already know this, right? but the guidance of me kind of like coming out of what I've been doing. So I've been holding like I've been going to Egypt for 10 years now. It's been a long journey and it's been an incredible one. And I'm obviously taking my next group because some of you are coming with me like in the next month and a half. But the how is changing. I'm being called up into not what I'm sharing, it's the container that holds it. So the reason I'm sharing this is don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. The formula is probably still sweet, still tastes rather nice, you know, but could it be held in a different container? Meaning, like, how do you change the structure of that? We're talking sacred architecture. So if you're already doing something like me, it's not for me to have wild abandon and go, okay, well, I'm not doing Egypt anymore. I'm not doing that because I need brand new. That would be silly because that's my purpose. But it's like the how is what I want you to look at and question yourself on that. All right. Because like I say, there is going to be new ideas coming to you and new ones that you've not even thought about yet. So just be open to the discussion with spirit, and it's going to start coming through to you in a very, very high vibrational way. Right. So think about that, the how, because I know there's a lot of teachers in here as well. And I don't know how many are actively teaching, but I know that there is a lot of you, because let me just break it down like this. And this is not a flex because it never has been. I'm not that kind of person. But I know that I work with the teachers, you know, because sometimes I can talk about this stuff and the eyes mist over and they're just like, she's an absolute fruit loop. I don't even know what she's talking about, galactic aliens and things like that. I'm not for everyone, right? But my fire and velocity basically ignites something in you guys, and you do the same for me. We are part of a certain collective and crew, right? So let me tell you, you're not come here to make doilies, right? If you sat here on this class, you're not here to just like, I don't know, plant a flower garden and do your thing, which is completely fine, by the way. But I'm here, I work with the conscious creators, those that are like rah, you know what I mean? And even if you don't know yourself as that, if you're here, you are. So there's something very, very kind of like leadership ready to come out of you. Do you know what I mean? And you're gonna feel it as it starts to birth out of you. It's like, oh yeah, let me do that. And then just trust spirit, because it's gonna take you to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And it's gonna unfold. You know what I mean? But there is a next level of showing up. And I know you're going to feel super anxious about that, but that is just the fear of change, not the thing you're going to do. It's just well, I've been here all the time and now I have to change, but I know this. No, we have to let go of that. We have to let go of that because that's what makes you recoil. So yeah, the next week, you're going to cross that rainbow bridge. The next week is going to be that final bit of fear, final bit of toxicity pulled out of you, because I know even the Sekhmet tour that we planned, basically I was supposed to be in November last year, and my health, I mean, I did Avalon last year, but I had to move it. And this is the first Sekhmet tour we've done. Prior to this, it was all like the other kind of tours. So this is where I got called up by Sekhmet, and she's like, you need to do this group. And I was blown away as to when it landed. I moved it and we put it in May. And then me and Waleed, who's my Egyptian partner, he was like, no, we were like, that's the new timeline. So it's almost like Sekhmet was like, oh no, honey, I'm not going in the old world. I'm part of the new one. And I look at this synchronistic time of kind of like April. We're going into Aries now. Fire, fire, fire. Sekhmet, action. So if you've been sitting in the primordial mud feeling sludgy, it's done. It's done. And it's probably going to be this week that it's done. You're going to get to resurrection and you're just going to wake up in the morning like you're having a fat yawn, but your spine straightens. Okay, now you're going to go, right, what's going on? You will have stuff dropped into your minds in the sleep state. You will have that blueprint inside of you ignite with the idea that you were supposed to use in the rah Joshua, hey love, you were supposed to use in the New Earth timeline, right? So it's all being taken care of. There's nothing for you to do except everything to just be open to, right? So this time now, just to summarize, this week is going to be you crossing the rainbow bridge, poison pulled out, last bit of that. Then next week, we're going to move into like Good Friday, death and rebirth, resurrection. And then after that, we're in the fire energy of Aries. So use it, grab your surfboard, get on that wave and just be like, let's look at stuff. Let's play. Let's play. Remember, without agenda. Okay. So this is my challenge to you and myself as well. And myself. So, okay. So now I'm going to take you into a meditation to kind of like bring all of this together, I suppose, you know, and I'm going to incorporate Yeshua's kind of like message into the meditation as well. So get yourself comfy. Don't worry about anything. Just know that everything we've spoken about, everything you've written down, everything you received, it's all in what I call the cauldron mix. It's percolating, hey? And the cosmic joke on that is I'm such a terrible cook, but I'm really good at doing cauldron mixes. Okay. So now, taking a nice, yeah, my big spoon, taking a nice big deep breath. You know the deal. Breathing in and just letting all of that mental energy go. Breathing in again. Inhale. And exhaling. Now, this last one, you're going to breathe in to the most highest point, holding your breath. Hold, hold, hold. And then big exhale and let all of that energy out. And now, as you feel yourself, just like body relaxed, I really do hope that your bodies feel relaxed, because the body has been doing the heavy lifting for us all. It's been a very physical experience. Why? Because it's embodiment. Embodiment. So the true opening to the new world was not necessarily gifted to us through the divine feminine. It's actually the divine masculine. Because it is the divine masculine that grants us the sacred architecture as we take our trusting steps forward. Toth has spoken to me quite a lot on this. And he said, let it be known that when you take your first 4 steps, he claims it as 4, you will feel like there is nothing there to hold you. You will feel that you are vulnerable on a wobbly bridge, so to speak. He said, but it is the trust and it is the faith and the fortitude of that allows you to step out onto what is perceived as a wobbly bridge. But as soon as you trust, the sacred architecture will build around you. In fact, they show me a scene from Iron Man where all of the armor comes around you like magic. But it takes us to take the leap of faith. For we will not come and meet you in the back of the cave. You walk forward to it. And that was the message of Toth. But now we are going to cement, embody, bless the realms, the sacredness of these 3 realms, the cosmos, the middle world, the underworld, of which these places we know so much about, and they know us very well. And now taking some nice, long, slow, deep breaths in for the nose and out for the nose. And just allowing your body to find its own rhythmic pace. And visualize now in your mind's eye. I want you to walk down a street you know, or be in somewhere that's in your life, somewhere that you go to often. Be very aware as your reality shows itself. The everyday humdrum routine. Maybe you go out and get coffee. Maybe it's those humdrum feelings that you feel like low-key impending doom. Everything is just a little flat and a little devoid of magic, maybe. Feeling that you are disillusioned. You have so much creativity inside of you, and your life that you look around just does not offer you this as much as it could. Or maybe you do experience some level of magic, but you can feel that it's capped. Either way, you find yourself walking now through this old world, let's call it. And it is full of war. It is full of anger. It is full of divine masculine in the shadow, which is now destroying itself from the inside out. And one could be taken into the misery of this. But as masters who walk this earth, you have been here many times before, and you have endured wars, so many wars. Even this lifetime is a war between the head and the heart. This is not something that is new to you. And all around you, you can just see the destruction of Gaia. Yet you still feel that you are here to a point. But as you are able to work with your energy field, you feel yourself step back slightly. And you're able to separate yourself from the chaos because that is what you have been mastering over the past years, on how to move yourself out of the chaos into the eye of the storm, letting it move around you, understanding the sweet spot of every situation. You don't have to be sucked into it, but you're definitely observing it. And it is not nice for any empath to experience such trauma and disarray. But the reason this scene is being brought through to you now is for one good reason: for you to feel the chaos of the old world, to feel the illusion and the distortion of the old world, and to witness and remember why civilizations fell. And civilizations fell in the past, of which you were part of. Lemuria, Atlantis was recreated, Egypt fell, everything, Rome fell, because of divine masculine, greedy power. But here you stand in this cycle in a different way. You look around this world and you understand to the depths that this is not your life. This is not your world. And you know that this is a timeline that you are to collapse, a timeline which is just low vibration. And that is what the new world is all about, being able to timeline jump. And you know exactly how to do this. You know how to transmute a world from one into another because you're a master alchemist. You know how to change it within. So within, so without. So you take one look around the world and you feel the heaviness in your heart. And it is a sadness that this is what you've known for so long, but you're not going to stay here. So you start to walk, you find a path, you're walking through all of this destruction, this chaos. And then in front of you, all of a sudden, there is this beautiful golden ladder. And you're looking in your everyday life and you're thinking, this is a bit strange. But this golden ladder, you know, is inviting you to step up. So you walk towards the ladder. And as you place your hands on the ladder and you place your first foot on the rung, you can feel the energy just like return to your being. Because of course you're an empath. So if you stand in situations or energies which are low vibration, understand the difference. Yeah, you're going to feel a certain type of way, but you do not have to embody it and you do not have to take it with you. And this is a perfect example of how powerful you are. Step into the chaos, feel it. Step out, transmute it, leave it alone. And here you stand on this golden ladder. And there is such a powerful, undeniable force pulling you up. And you get excited because you're like, oh my gosh, this is time now to leave this timeline. We're going. And you get very excited. So you put one foot in front of the other, one hand in front of the other, and you furiously pull yourself up the ladder. And you get higher and higher and higher above this absolute mass destroying world. You get so high to the point that you're looking down on the people. You're looking down on the chaos. You carry on climbing though. And as you climb, you get higher and higher and higher. And then you can feel the noise getting lesser and lesser and lesser. And each foot on that rung of the ladder is almost like you are collapsing and destroying, disintegrating that old world. And each footstep you take, you look behind you and like, oh my God, look at that. It's disappearing. Literally, the door is closing behind you. This is incredible. So you carry on going. So as you carry on going, suddenly this old world is left behind you. And you take a moment to feel the lightness in your being and the relief of, oh, I'm not in that anymore. So instead of looking behind you now, you start to look where you're going. And much to your disappointment, you see nothing but black. And your heart sinks. And you get very disillusioned. And your now fast pace on the ladder now slows somewhat. You carry on going because you don't really know. You don't want to go back down. So you carry on going up, but it's slow. And as you get into this void space, very dark, your body starts to get quite tired. But you still have a strength and tenacity to keep going. So you're slowly pulling yourself up the rungs of the ladder. And as you go, these feelings of confusion, disappointment, uncertainty start to really set in. At least down there, you kind of knew your role. Here, you're like, I don't know what's going on. And you start to cry. And the tears start to roll down your cheeks. But you don't stop. You keep pulling yourself up, and it just gets darker and darker and darker to the point you can't go on anymore. Your heart is breaking through just sheer disappointment. You find yourself hanging on the rungs of these ladders, and you're feeling all the things. And as you try and look around to see something, there's nothing, no thing. This is just such a huge space. And as you're clinging to this ladder, all you can hear is the beat of your heart. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. And weirdly, it feels like life. Weirdly, it feels like the heartbeat of the universe. And you start to look around. His heart is still beating. Bum bum. Bum bum. And as you look around now, you realize that there are stars. And as your heart beats, the stars ignite with the beat. Ba-bum. Ba-bum. And you start to get a bit happy, like childlike awe and wonder in this very dark space. And you start to get a bit playful with it. And as you start to feel the joy a little bit of being in this space in between, this dark space, your heartbeat speeds up. Ba-bum. Ba-bum. And then the lights and the stars keep flashing with you. And then there's shooting stars. And then all of a sudden you are immersed in this beautiful symphony because you're like, this is kind of fun. You've forgotten about the old world. You haven't even thought about where you're going. You're just like transfixed with this very, very dark space, which was not so fun in the beginning. But now you're feeling this synergy, this electricity, this feeling of oneness. And you're confused by that because there's no one around. How can I feel part of everything here? Because just me and the stars. But that's the magic. That's the essence. And then suddenly you feel a surge of energy just to keep going. Almost like, I want to say flames up your butt, but this is more about joy in your heart. And you're like, oh, let's just keep on going. And you start to speed up now. And as you pull yourself to the last ladder and your arms are aching, everything is so sore. You're like, oh my God, you look up and this one massive hand comes down and reaches his hand out to you. And then there's another beautiful female hand that comes out. So they've got a man's hand and a female hand. You grab the hands and they pull you up. You don't know where you're going because everything's just like, whoa, what's going on? So this man's hand, woman's hand pulls you up into the next dimension. And suddenly you land and there's, first of all, so much golden light around. It's like your eyes and your energy needs to adjust. Whoever's just pulled you up, you can feel that their presence is to your left and to your right. Then all of a sudden, the gold starts to shape shift and it starts to show you as you address your frequency to match this new world. Because that's what this is. It's one big massive gold right now. But now you kind of wiggle your toes on the ground. You start to get a sense and feeling that there is a powerful feminine next to you, a powerful masculine. You rub your eyes like a little child, and then suddenly you are faced with the smiling face of Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. And behind them is the Holy Family, Joseph Arimathea, Anna, grandmother of Jesus, some of the disciples. It's just a reunion. Mother Mary's there. And then all of your star team. Some of them are actually in human form. And then you start to get an idea and you look around and Yeshua's saying, look around. Look around. And he's trying to tell you that this is what you've manifested. This is your new world. And as you look around, you see the city of light. And when I say a city of light, I don't mean literal. It's real time now. There is a world that awaits you with real beautiful gardens, green grass, dogs running around, even cities which are like, got beautiful Starbucks there, but it's glowing. It's magic. And all the people that are around you, their heart energies are open. So you feel instantaneously connected with them. You feel safe. No one's destabilizing your field. You just feel elated. You feel so childlike. And Yeshua and Mary Magdalene can see that because this is what embodiment's all about. So they grab your hand and they walk you to this beautiful lake and you find yourself just jumping into this water, just playing, splashing, jumping around. Somebody's walking their dogs, the dogs jump in. It's just a beauty, a scene of just life. And you climb yourself onto the bank and you're like, it doesn't get much better than this. And as you lie on the bank, Yeshua lies next to you. And then Mary Magdalene lies next to you. And there's quite a few of you actually just chilling on the bank. This is such a strange scene, but it's not really because it's ancient beings, but you are embodied in the modern day world. And Mary Magdalene says, this is what you've come to understand. Seek us not back there, because we're not back there. We are in this timeline with you. We are part of you. You are part of us. Your job, which we are trusting in you to walk forward, is to be the living embodiment of the divine, of us. And then all of a sudden you get it. All of a sudden it clicks in. And then Yeshua speaks. I am your beloved brother Yeshua. Rest your head upon my chest. Feel my love surround you. Let go now, you can rest. I am he who holds your hand when you are shivering with fear. I am your beloved brother Yeshua. I protect you and hold you near. I know what it is to live a life faced with hardship and pain. I know the depths where you must dig to transmute shadow, illusion, and shame. I knew my time was short on earth, a sacred mission I had to complete. I walked where others feared to tread, to expose the darkness and deceit. The burdens were so heavy. My mission sealed my demise. So embrace the shadow, for it is the key that grants you the wealth and prize. Within all darkness is the light. I urge you to look within. You are divine, so powerful and true. Authenticity transmutes all sin. And as you're lying on the bank, listening to his beautiful words, feeling that transmission, he places a golden key in your hand. You don't even look at your hand, you know what it is. And it is vibrating. And it's like not even a literal key, it's a symbolism of where you are. You have the key to the door. You are the key to the door. So feeling that modern life with ancient wisdom flowing through your being. Many Magdalenes and Yeshuas will you meet along your way. Many Sekhmets and Isis will you meet along your way, for we're the embodiment of it all. And we are all here in the middle realm to not control, berate, to co-create, to play, to enjoy, so we can enjoy. And I want you to take this very high timeline in, because this very high timeline is your timeline. This is what was encoded into your DNA, your tablet of light. And you've been chipping away the layers to get the great reveal to come forward. And the time is now. You've been given the golden key. So you give your most heartfelt gratitude and love to the Holy Family, to Mary Magdalene, to everybody that has shown up. Those that you know about, those that you don't. And to each and every one of us here, because we're all there together. And more will come. More will come. They will just follow your Batman sign in the sky, which is your heart codes frequency. So taking a nice deep breath in now, embodying all that magic, letting the whole scene fall away, or rather bring it back inside you, because we leave nothing behind. And I want you to now bring in your energy fields to a place that's comfortable. And if you're not sure, you can ask your star team or Yeshua or Mary to help you. Just bringing your energy fields in just a little bit now, so we can contain your frequency. And then spinning a golden cord, like a crust, around the outside of it. And then we're going to add on top of that, because this is what I did in the beginning before we opened the class, a beautiful ball, a mirror ball. And the mirror is on the outside of you. So you're in this beautiful sphere with your golden energy. So anything that bounces your way that you don't want just bounces back, send to sender. Thank you very much. And you keep all of this magic. You keep your timeline embodied. And your nervous system and your physical body is going to thank you after this class today. It's just going to help you really, really come into land a lot better. So thank you, thank you, thank you to all of the guides, all of like Yeshua, Mary, all of it, to you guys as well. So when you're ready, and you really feel like you're ready, you can open your eyes. Let's go and get a Starbucks. A sacred Starbucks. When I said Starbucks in that channel, these guys, I was like, why am I bringing Starbucks into a channeled meditation? But that's how I roll. That's how I do it. Because it's like, anyway, next time we'll probably have Burger King. It's fine. But yeah, that was powerful. That was really, really powerful. So it's like, yeah, mermaid medicine as well. Absolutely. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, hot as hell, you know? But Natalie, I just want to speak about the interesting because you're playing around with new identities. Absolutely. We're the Madonna of the spiritual world. That's what I call myself. Do you know what I mean? It's just like recreating, playing. It's shape shifting in the most positive sense, not shape shifting just because you're hiding. It's like you can be whatever you want to be. And I think that's the freedom of creativity. I can't stop singing and poetry and rhyme. Hey, Ra, you need to put me on your album, man. I think I could spit some rhymes, eh? British Marie, like really awkward and not a rapper at all. So but this is the thing now. It's like, you know, it's like play, entertain everything. Take absolutely no bullshit. You're not in the old timeline. Don't care what anybody says. Allow your process. And then just to finish on that as well, I have got actually a I mean, the doors are about to close for Sekhmet. So for anybody that's kind of like feeling that they're like, want to come and do the fire energy, obviously Sekhmet, we close the doors probably in the next 3 weeks or thereabouts. So if you are thinking of that like sacred activation with Mother, come and join us because we already have some of us here going. But then there's a flip side to this because in August, every August, I started last year, it's the Lionsgate portal and it's in the UK, it's Avalon. And this one is all about embodiment. Last year, I mean, we do the private visit between Stonehenge and I channeled in a very powerful meditation or channeled Sekhmet in the stones. It was incredible. And that was on Lionsgate. So this is it. We're actually going to be there on Lionsgate. And this year, wherever you be, not necessarily Avalon, there is a full eclipse, a full new moon eclipse on the 12th of August, which is so big. It's big. It's going to be really, really big. I think Egypt is even booked out for that time because National Geographic is there. We're going to be in Avalon, right? Which I much prefer to do that because I think if you were in Egypt and that eclipse, that's massive energy. So we need the water codes of Avalon to kind of like keep it down. Or embody it, you know. So we're going to be doing star walks, the druid walk. We're going to be walking as the ancients did, which is all about embodiment, walking through the lands, you know, working with cacao, blue lotus, psilocybin, microdosing, that kind of thing. And we'll be working with all of the ancient water codes, okay? But we're still going to be bringing Sekhmet into that. But this particular group is all about embodiment. We stay on the Chalice Well grounds, which is where the Chalice Well is, and it's actually we get full access to that all the time. So you know there's a very, very powerful medicine there over this particular time, this particular year, that it's all about embodiment. So it's all about bringing that in. So if any of you feel called to come and walk with us, please do, because it's going to be very, very powerful. And then if you're feeling maybe, I don't know, anybody want to do a double tap Egypt and Avalon, whatever, do you know what I mean? We need to win the lottery, but it's going to happen in a week, I reckon. Money ain't gonna be a thing, yo. Money ain't gonna be a thing. I'm putting that into the mix, you know. So anyway, you'll see all the bits and pieces on YouTube. And like I say, this is how we're gonna roll. So next month we get together again. Reach out on YouTube and just anyway. I mean, the tribe has spoken. Hey, what's that off? That's off a program, isn't it? So the tribe has spoken. But thank you guys for coming because, like I say, this is always so flipping powerful. I mean, like when we get together, we work like this. So everybody is always greatly appreciated from me because you bring the codes, and this is it's always a group effort, always a group effort. So thank you for your service. Thank you for your service, ma'am and mister. Okay. Anyway, love to you all, and I will see you on the flip side. And I will be asking about your promises. Don't think that I won't. I'm going to ask you. Okay. All right. Lots of love, peeps. Mwah. I'll see you later. Okay. Bye-bye.